Hi guys, it's Teresa. Welcome back to my channel. As you can probably tell, right now I'm filming in front of a little bit of a different setup than I usually have. I just wanted to try out something different. If I like this more, if you guys like this more, we shall see. But anyway, today I'm going to be doing a library book haul as well as a current weekend reads video. As you guys might know, I live in Austria and we don't have a ton of English books in our libraries here, but I went to the university library for English studies and they had 3 books that were interesting to me. At least I found 3 books that I thought I would enjoy. Before we get started, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying my content, and now let's get right into the video. The first book I want to show you is called The Female Man by Joanna Russ, I believe. This book, as far as I can tell, was published in the 1970s, and as you can tell probably by the edition, it's a sci-fi masterwork, so kind of like a classic sci-fi book that they've republished in one of these editions. On the back of this it says, Janet's world is rather different. On the planet While Away, there is no problem of relations between the sexes because there is only one. Janet is unfettered. She's free to lead her life as she wants, as an able and competent being, as a female man. I just really like this concept of her living on this planet, trying to escape the set gender rules of the 1970s. And living as a man. It just sounds really interesting. I hope I enjoy it. I'm gonna try to get to this soon. The next book is called Were the Mulvaneys by Joyce Carol Oates. I have never read anything by Joyce Carol Oates before. That was the main reason I wanted to pick something up by her. They have like literally every single thing I think that she has ever written in the library, and I had a really big issues trying to decide which one to pick. Since I had no previous experiences with her, I didn't really know if I was gonna like her, so I kind of wanted to start with something that was more popular. And I think I tried Googling a little bit, trying to find lists of the best of her works. This was on one of them, so I decided to pick it up. This seems to be sort of a family drama, so it follows the family of the Mulvaneys in the 1970s, where on Valentine's Day something happens with tragic consequences. It's about the youngest son of this family then attempting to reclaim his family's past by documenting their history and what seemed a special gift of happiness. So it's about their family secrets, how those secrets are trying to destroy the family. It sounds really, really interesting. I think it was probably also written quite a while ago. Yeah, it was written in 1996, I believe, but it's set in the 70s. I've been wanting to get into Joyce Carol Oates' work for a while now. I just never really knew where to start, and I didn't really know anybody else, either on BookTube or in real life, who was reading and enjoying her work. So yeah, I'm hoping this is a good place to start. If you have other books by her that you would recommend, definitely leave them in the comments down below. I'm super curious. The last book I picked up from their library I've already partially read and unfortunately had to DNF, and that is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I'm finding it really stressful almost to talk about this book because I know it is so highly beloved, it is so highly politicized, and I think to some people it can be very easy to draw conclusions about people based on their review of this book. Now, I'm not assuming that my viewers are doing this, but it's still making me a little bit nervous because I didn't enjoy it. I got 130 pages into it and I could not keep going. I'm sure you all have heard of this book before, who hasn't at this point? Everyone and their mother have read it and given it a 5-star review. This follows a young black girl called Star who lives in a black neighborhood but goes to a posh, predominantly white school and feels kind of torn between 2 worlds because of it. At the beginning of the book, one of her childhood friends, Khalil, is pulled over in a car while she sits in the passenger seat and he is shot by police unlawfully. And so this book tries to tackle this very important issue, obviously, of police brutality. This isn't supposed to be a review. If you want to know more of my thoughts, you can go read my Goodreads review. I've gotten some very interesting and insightful comments on that already, and I really appreciate the conversation that we're currently having down there. So if you want to participate, please feel free to. I would love that. Basically, I didn't enjoy the writing. I didn't enjoy the main character. There was very little plot so far it was just not compelling to me. It's written in a very simplistic way, not just in the word choice, but to me also kind of in the world view, especially as presented represented by Star, and I just didn't feel like I was gonna be getting anything new out of this. I'm gonna be doing a half monthly wrap up this month because I already have read 4.5 books or so, and I think it's gonna be too much to wait until the end. So if you want to know more thoughts, again, you can read the Goodreads review, or you can wait like another week or so, and then I'll mention this in my mid-monthly wrap-up as well. By the way, I found it so interesting after I posted my review for this book. So many people came out of the woodworks telling me that they also didn't enjoy it, and I just was surprised by that, to be honest, because up to this point, I have not heard a single person give this book less than like maybe 4 stars, 3.5, maybe, at the very most. People adore this book, and I had, as I said, never heard anybody dislike it, but I was very relieved to find out that I'm not the only person who didn't enjoy it. So now we're getting to my current reads. Now I'm currently reading 4 books. For me personally, there's always gonna be books in my current reads, especially as they're marked on Goodreads, that I'm more actively currently reading, and then others are like just occasionally I will look into them, or I'm kind of on my way through it, but I don't, whenever I have time to read, I don't actively sit down and I'm reading them. So my current, I would say most active read is Dead Cold by Louise Penny. This is from my March Mystery Madness TBR. I will link the video if you haven't seen it yet. This is the second book in the Chief Inspector Armand Gamache mystery series that is set in Canada, and I really enjoyed the first book when I read it last year. I like the setting of this super small town in rural Canada. It is such a lovely and cozy town, and at the time, I really enjoyed the characters because there's obviously a lot of different types of people living in this town, and I just enjoyed learning and reading about their lives, kind of. However, in this book, I don't know what happened, if they changed or if I literally didn't notice it in the first book. They're all horrible people, mainly because they are so incredibly judgmental of everyone else. The way that people's appearances are described by other characters is really hard to read about because they're all so judgmental of appearance, especially of their overweight town members or overweight people they see. Like, they're so cruel in their descriptions. Like, I don't know if this is supposed to be part of their characters or if this is how the author views other people in her own life. I can't tell. I'm not trying to speak to that. This type of thing doesn't even usually bother me, but I'm sorry, in this book it is so pervasive, and like literally every page somebody is being mocked for their appearance, and I'm over it, okay? Also, this book so far, I'm like almost halfway through at this point. I'm 175 pages in. It is so boring. Nothing much has happened aside from the murder of this one person. And the thing is, that also only happens like 100 pages into the book because it spends so much time at the beginning trying to build up like this persona that actually then dies. It's like this woman that just moved to the town a year ago, and she's really cruel. She is a horrible person. But again, since everybody else also is kind of a horrible person most of the time, I just don't really care. It's also hard to feel sympathy for somebody dying when they're truly a terrible person. So I don't know, I'm just not feeling this one. It took so much time to get into gear, and it took like 70 pages for the inspector himself to even make an appearance, who's supposed to be the main character across the series. And I'm just finding it so hard to care about anything. I don't care about these people because they're terrible. I don't care about this town because terrible people live in it. And I'm just not able to recapture the magic as I was feeling it a year ago. I am seriously questioning if I should DNF this. It would be my second DNF in a row after the Hate U Give, but I'm just struggling so hard. And I have a ton of other books I want to read and should be reading, and I don't know. I'm not definitively saying I'm DNFing it yet, but I'm toying with the idea, certainly. Another current read I've been like reading on the side all the time, sort of in like 1 to 2 page increments whenever I get a chance, is Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe, I believe is her name. It's obviously an American classic and I have not read it before. I found the ebook for free on Amazon because they often have classic ebooks for free, so check it out. Just like a little side tip. And I also found the audiobook for this on YouTube. So again, check those resources sometimes when especially for classics, because they usually what's that called, like open source, not open source, but there's no more like copyright involved anymore often. So yeah, check those resources. However, I will say I'm not a fan of the audiobook for this just because I'm finding it really hard to understand. There's a lot of slang, not necessarily slang, but like the black characters specifically, the way they talk, I'm just not used to, and I'm finding it difficult to even read it on the page. I need to pay really close attention to understand what they're saying, but on the audiobook, I'm just not registering what they're saying. I'm just finding it difficult to listen. So I'm mainly reading the ebook whenever I have a chance. I think I'm only about 100 pages into it or something like that. So this is my current ebook. It's probably gonna take me forever to finish because this book is like almost 600 pages and it's a classic. And while it's very interesting and very well written, I'm enjoying it. I just am finding it hard to read. This will probably not appear in a wrap-up for like months and months and months. But I do hope to finish it at some point. My next current read is kind of similar because it's also not happening in like one sitting or even multiple consecutive sittings, but like every now and again when I think of it, I will try and read a little bit of it, and that is Detective Conan Volume 89. I have shown this book in so many videos. Like, I don't know how many current read videos this has been in already because I'm always currently reading it. I'm struggling. I need to actually read it. It's on my TBR for March, so I'm gonna try to get to this. It's good practice. I have to do it. I want to film a video also about how I read Japanese books, so I need to read it to film it. And my last current read I basically just picked up today, and I've only read like 10 pages, but I just quickly wanted to show it. I picked this up because I wasn't enjoying that cold and I was questioning whether I should DNF it or not. And this is Blindsight by Meg Howrey. It's a YA coming-of-age story, and it's about this boy that is moved by his father, who he just met for the first time, to Los Angeles to live with him. And as I said, I've only read 10 pages. I am struggling a little bit. I don't know why I'm struggling with like all of the books I'm reading right now. Like none of them are a good flow, I guess. I don't know, like this. I'm not in the flow with any of them. I love The Crane Stands by Meg Howrey, and I loved it in large part due to the writing style because I think it was very beautiful. It was just pleasant to read, and with this already I am struggling with exactly the writing style. Like obviously plot-wise, character-wise, I can't really say anything yet, but the writing, it almost reads like a blog post, which is really odd because that's not necessarily a specific writing style. I can't put my finger on it, but it feels a little weird. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to read it. It seems like a quick read. It's less than 300 pages. I hope I get used to the writing or it gets better, like more up my alley, I don't know. Because I think I could be finishing this super quickly if I just were into it fully. So that is it for my little library book haul and my current/weekend reads. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've read any of the books I mentioned in this video, let me know in the comments below what you thought of them. And also let me know what you're reading this weekend. I will leave you now. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, I upload every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. And I will see you very soon with another video. Until then, have a lovely week. Bye!